Once the grade is within plus or minus 1 inch of the final elevation, we begin working on final grade. The completed final grade tolerance must be within plus or minus 1/4 of an inch. At fixed elevations, such as curbs or garage slabs, the tolerance tightens to within plus or minus 1/8 of an inch. Commercial job specifications may have different tolerances. One common method to check final grade is to use 1 inch outside diameter steel pipe. Before using a pipe, cut the threads off each end and bevel the ends slightly. Then fill with foam or caulking so material does not get inside the pipe. Lay the pipe on the base material and roll it down the grade following the general slope of the pavement. Look for any gaps under the pipe that are greater than 3/8 of an inch or the thickness of a carpenter's pencil. Since 3/8 of an inch is out of the tolerance range for the final grade, these gaps will need to be filled with base material. Mark the area with a minus sign, indicating the area is low and material needs to be added, such as a minus 1/2 inch. If the area is high, mark with a plus sign, indicating that material will need to be removed, such as a plus 1/2 inch. A quick and easy way to check flatness over a long distance is to hold a string line tight to the base. Starting at the top of the project and moving away from the house, work the project section by section, checking for high and low spots. Add base to the low spots and rake down the high spots. While raking the base, make sure to feather the edges. In a small area, a screed board can be used to strike off base material filled into low spots. Once each section is flat, make a final pass with a compactor. After all sections are completed, do a final proof roll with the pipe. This is the last chance to fix any problems. On this project, a grade stake was added in front of each garage slab so the string lines could pivot while checking elevations. Set the string line collar at 12 inches from the top of the pavement, which is 15 1/8 inch from the base material. This is taken into account 2 3/8 of an inch for the pavers and 3/4 of an inch for the compacted sand. Using a skid steer makes the final grade process easier. It is important to take your time and work carefully. It is better to make a couple of slower, accurate passes than make one fast pass. Be sure not to disrupt areas that have already reached final grade. Finished grade is best achieved by a final forward cut with the bucket. A final cut can only be done with good base material, uniform compaction, and a sharp edge on the bucket. When using the cutting edge, it is important to overlap the cuts by no more than half the bucket width with each pass. Previous cuts give a visual reference of the depth needed for the next cut. Back dragging is best used for leveling and smoothing loose material. After you finish the final cut, rake out the ridges and imperfections. The final compaction is done to bind up the surface layer. Once final grade has been reached at the top of the driveway, turn around and work towards the street. Starting a final grade cut from a finished section is much more efficient. During the process of the final cut, it is important to consistently check and mark elevations so the operator and equipment are more efficient. Although an experienced operator can eye a grade well, checking elevations, instead of just judging by eye, is important because of base texture, shadows, sunlight, and moisture content, all of which can create optical distortions that can fool even the best operator.